Hey, what's happening, guys? This is John Acosta from the Content Creators Lounge. Thanks so much for tuning in, and apologies if you were waiting for the the keynote webinar last night. I got stuck on a production, and so now I'm trying to make up for it. So anyway, welcome to How to Use YouTube for Video Marketing. And again, I appreciate your patience, guys. This is basically going to go over why YouTube is so important and how you can use it for your business in video marketing, why you should be on it, and how it can really benefit everything that you do. So let's get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the bullet points that we're going to talk about first. And by the way, this is my first actual slideshow webinar, so please be gentle. Also, I'm using a PDF here, so you're going to get everything all at once. I hope that's okay with you. All right, why YouTube? That's the very first point we're going to make. Why do I need to be on this platform? If you don't understand why, then there's no reason to be on it. So we're going to go over that first. Then we're going to talk about a few best practices for video creation, some of the tools and tips that I use personally and my company uses in order to create what we do. Then some secret ninja tricks for uploading. This is kind of an art. Secret ninja tricks for uploading. I mean, it's not something that can just be done on the fly. You have to know what you're doing. And a lot of people don't. So, you know, personally, we'll go into it in a minute, but this is one of the most important things that you should be doing and should really tune into. So please stick around for that. It is literally the most vital thing you can do. All right, then video syndication, another very big and important instance inside of the YouTube platform. And again, if you're not doing this, which a lot of people aren't, you'll be ahead of the game, ahead of the curve if you are. And if you're not, then you'll fall into the shallow depths of the YouTube video spectrum. And then finally, we're going to go over an extra bonus pro tip, which I want you to stick around for. It's basically going to be talking a little bit about how to monetize your videos and how that works so that you can actually start making money off of your videos once they're published onto YouTube. All right, so let's get right into it. First and foremost, who am I real quick? John Acosta. For those of you who don't know, I am the creator of the Content Creators Lounge, the founder. And before that, I also do video production internationally. So my production company is based in Atlanta, Georgia, and San Francisco. We do videos for everyone from startups to Fortune 500 companies such as Apple and the New York Times Company. So just a huge spectrum of stuff that we do. We love telling stories on camera, and that's kind of where I got my basis from. And then I recently started Content Creators Lounge as a platform to teach people how to do what we do and how to do it on a budget with zero money, basically, and still flourish on the internet, because I feel like at this point in time, it's just completely accessible to do no matter who you are. So anyway, that's a little about me. I'm a video producer and tech entrepreneur, and I'm happy to be with you today to talk to you about YouTube. So why YouTube? Let's get into it. YouTube is first and foremost the second most used search engine right next to Google. And if you didn't know that, now you do. But what you might not know, and what a lot of people actually don't know, is that Google feeds off of YouTube like the plague. So when you think about your business and you think about trying to rank first on that first page of Google when someone types in whatever industry that you're in, you got to think about what other optimal ways you can put your business out there. And YouTube is that platform because Google loves videos. The reason being that it allows the user to be more engaged. It allows them to interact with the content, allows them to comment on the content, but it also allows them to get every one of their senses as a human into the video. You know, it allows them to experience it in a way that a blog or that an article cannot do. So YouTube being the second biggest platform, only next to Google, you can only imagine that marriage right there, because Google owns YouTube, that marriage right there is completely intricate in a sense that Google is now displaying YouTube videos as actual things that pop up in the search. I'm sorry, I'm running out of words here. As actual content that pops up in that first or second page or third page or sixth or whatever. So you got to think about, when you're running your business, how can I leverage every platform that's out there? And how can I leverage it in a way that no one else is doing? Now, it's not to say that YouTube is a secret. I mean, everyone knows what it is, and everyone anyone has at least one or two videos on there. And if you're one of those people that don't, then you should be on it immediately. And today we're going to teach you how. But just so you know, this is a really great marketing tool. And if you're not doing it, you should be. So there's that. More importantly, search engine optimization, just kind of touching on it. We just talked about how Google kind of skims through YouTube like the plague, and it's very true. But what's more important is how it searches, right? Search engine optimization, SEO, you guys have probably heard the term before. It basically means, how does Google look at you, view you on the internet as a company, as a personality, as a profile, as a portfolio. So when you're trying to leverage this SEO, you want to be able to put it out there in every way possible. And again, videos are the only way to really engage your audience more than just a blog article. So SEO is great for multiple reasons, and Google is able to penetrate YouTube in that regard, using things like video titles and description, which we'll get into in just a minute. But just know that YouTube and Google are married in that way, and that when you post videos on YouTube, it's the equivalent to posting a price on your website for a product or a service that you offer. It's the same exact thing, only this time you're actually engaging that potential customer or prospect customer by enhancing all of their senses and really delving into what it is you do, getting to know you as a person, getting to know you as an individual, not just a big logo on a brand or a company. Okay, so again, it goes deeper into SEO, and again, we'll get into that in a minute. I like to get ahead of myself, but just know that SEO is what Google basically uses to understand the internet and to rank things on their pages. And YouTube is one of those newfound Easter eggs that you want to be using and engaging in. All right, number 3 is the literacy laziness. Let's be real. I'm lazy, and I'm sure you are too. When it comes to trying to research something or look for a tutorial or find out how to do a certain thing, I much rather prefer to jump online, look for a video, and then have somebody walk me through it step by step so that I can personally follow along to whatever it is that they're teaching. Right. And likewise, I like to have someone sell me something. And when I do feel like having somebody sell me something, I like for it to be a voice and a person or a human that I can actually physically see and trust, not some words that I read off a page of an internet article that somebody wrote that I have no idea what they look like or who they are, where they're from or whatever. So literary laziness, literacy laziness. It's true. It's embarrassing, but it's true. It makes YouTube that much more powerful when it comes to putting stuff online. All right, so now that I've convinced you why YouTube is so important, and I went on a huge rant, I'm sorry for that. Let's get into the best practices for actual video creation. So there are a couple of tips that I like to follow, and it's almost like a step-by-step guide of how I follow the creation process on YouTube. In the beginning, and I think a lot of people that start creating videos in the beginning do this, they jump on to whatever camera, a webcam, a camera you bought off, whatever, the internet, and you just start shooting video about whatever. It's not necessarily relevant to your content, to your industry, to your customers. I did this years ago, and I put a lot of effort into it. And in doing that, I kind of wasted my time because nobody ended up watching those videos. I look 4 or 5 years down the road at those videos that were posted, and it still only has less than 100 views. I'm thinking, why is that? Well, here's the reason why. You only want to create relevant content to your industry, right? And more so, you want to create content that makes sense to the industry, that people want to know about, not just random stuff like, let's say you're selling furniture, and for some reason you decide, what would be a great video? Let's make a video about leg rests. Let's make a leg rest video. But when you jump online and put it on the internet, after you've made it and sold it, nobody watches it, and it's because nobody's looking for it, right? So you want relevance in your industry, and I think that's something that a lot of people they don't do very well with, which is why the internet is just superfluously filled with bullshit. So only create relevant content to your industry. Now, how do we do that? How do we know what people are saying and want to know and want to engage in? Well, there are 3 really great platforms that I personally use and that a lot of the best YouTubers out there use in order to get their content and in order to know what to talk about. So the first is Quora.com, as you see here. Now, Quora is a fairly new site. It's like the LinkedIn of question sites. That's the best way I could put that. Quora is basically a website where you go to, you can ask a question, post it online on their platform, and then people from all sorts of industries will come in and answer that question for you. So what I like to do is go to Quora.com, type in a question that I might have about my industry, or maybe even a keyword. So if I do video production, I would type in a word like camera lens. right? And a bunch of questions would pop up about certain camera lenses. Like people would ask, what kind of camera lens should I buy? What's the best camera lens? What's the best brand? And so these questions are basically being validated right then and there. People are actually asking them. And I can then take that question and wrap a video around it, create a video just answering that particular question. And I know people will watch it at that point because they've already asked the question out there to begin with, right? So Quora.com is a great place to do that sort of research, that sort of relevant content, and learn about what people are asking. The second place is Yahoo Answers. And I'm sure anyone that's asked a question in Google or Yahoo has run into this website. It's basically Yahoo's platform of questionnaires where you just ask a question. And again, people will just throw on their answers. The problem with Yahoo Answers is there's a lot of crap in there too. There's a lot of just random fluff stuff, people asking really ridiculous questions, and a lot of spam. So you got to be careful when you're on there. But ultimately, it's a really great platform for people, everyday normal people that are just out there asking simple, relevant questions. And if you're looking for your industry, whatever that might be, I would just advise you to type in the keyword or the industry in general into the search bar on Yahoo Answers or Quora.com. And see what pops up. And the third one that's almost kind of counterintuitive, but also extremely brilliant, is questions on YouTube videos. So for instance, I have an example here. I searched for how to work with aperture, and a video popped up about video cameras and aperture and photo settings. And I clicked on the video and went down to the comments at the bottom to see that there's actually real people asking real questions about aperture and how it works and what are the best settings. So this girl right here has asked, so you're telling me to do this, this, and this, and I'll have the best, photo. And that's basically it. What I can do is take that question and I can wrap an entire video around it. Same with this guy. What camera is good for this particular thing that you just taught? I can take that question, what camera is good for great aperture? And I can make a video wrapped entirely around that. Okay, so these are just little tips and tricks that you can use to start making relevant content that people will actually watch, and you won't have to waste your time or feel like you've wasted your time creating content that nobody gives a shit about. Okay, moving on. So when you're creating your best practices for video creation, the step one, again, is to do some research, look for relevant questions. But then the next step is, okay, now that I have my question, how do I word the question so that YouTube and Google will like it, right? And this is the number one tip that I can give you. If you take anything else away today, take this. Take the very fact that depending on what you type into Google and YouTube and your titles and your descriptions and so forth will determine how it's perceived by their spiders and their robots and by the search engine in general, and how it will be ranked. Okay, so you want to be very strategic about how you've created your content, what content you're creating, and then B, how you're setting your keywords so that people can actually discover it. And that is where this tool comes in. This is called keywordtool.io, and it's a fairly new tool that I've discovered. And it basically is supposed to replace YouTube's previous keyword tool. And what this does is allows us to take the question that we have. So again, we're back to that what is aperture question I said earlier. We can type it into this the search engine, and it will show us relevant videos that or relevant keywords, pardon me, that people have actually been searching for inside of YouTube. Right? So instead of having to shoot in the dark and just type in aperture, best known tips, blah, 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 that kind of title for my video, I can actually just have right here blatantly in front of me things that people have actually been searching for. And so I'm basically honing in on particular keywords and search terms that I can then put into my video. And then I can therefore optimize it even more so that Google and YouTube can find it much easier and rank me a lot higher than normal. Okay, so again, this tool, keywordtool.io, please write that down, bookmark it, save it in your pocket, whatever. But this is a great tool to have when you're making your videos. After you've figured out the relevant question that you want to answer, type it into this machine and see what pops up. And take note of these, because this is how you're going to figure out what to title your video once you've created it. Okay. Now, the second tool that I have that I love using is the keyword research tool from Google, the Keyword Planner. Now, if you go to adwords.google.com, you'll be able to pull this up, and it's a very, very great tool because not only does it allow you to pull up your product or service, but it also allows you to it also allows you to see different competition and the average monthly searches for that particular keyword, right? So again, I've entered, oh, apologies. I've entered my keyword up top, aperture. And if you come down to the bottom here, we have aperture definitions. This is something that that Google has actually suggested and recommended. They've said, hey, look at this. Not only did we find aperture, but we found aperture definition, and we found the monthly search to be around 8,900 people that are searching for it. And the competition's low. So why would I not want to name my video around that search term? This is a really, really powerful tool. And if you aren't using it yet for your video creation and naming your videos, you should be, because if not, you're missing out. It's the equivalent to just shooting in the dark saying, you know what, I'm just going to name my video whatever, and hopefully people will find it. Why would you do that when you can literally see what people are typing into the search engine to find your stuff? All right, so again, adwords.google.com, write that one down, save it in your bookmarks, whatever. Just make sure to be using it once you've A, discovered what you're going to make your video about, and then B, you've started looking for keywords for that particular video. Okay, moving forward. Secret ninja tricks for uploading. So let's pretend that A, you found your relevant topic for your industry, right? I've decided that I'm going to make a video about aperture for cameras. What is aperture? Okay, I've named it. I've found the keywords. I went and did the research to see what keywords I can use for that particular video. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload it to YouTube. Well, there are a few really great tricks that you need to know in order to do this properly, because this is where everybody fails. This is where everyone screws up. It's when they post their videos to YouTube and they don't do it properly. What this does, how this can work for you is A, it's going to help with your SEO. It's going to help Google. It's going to give it Google food. It's going to feed it and find it and be able to put it up on that first page, put it up on the YouTube first page. And B, it's going to help the relevant viewers that are looking for your stuff in your industry discover it organically as well. Okay, so without doing this, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. You're not going to be discovered. You get lost in that black hole of YouTube videos, because let's be real, there's like a million different videos uploaded every single minute. You don't want to be that guy that gets put down to like the 147th page on YouTube or Google, right? You want to work for you. You want it to work for you instead of against you. So here are the tips that I have for you today. The first is the title itself. Now, remember we talked about how you're supposed to research your keywords first and your competition and so forth first using those tools. Well, this is where that comes into play. This is how you implement that research. Once you've created your video, which we aren't going to go too much into just yet, but we're talking more about uploading, you'll want to optimize it with the keywords from that research. And my biggest tip for you is you want to take that research that you have and those keywords that you have, and you want to make sure to put those keywords at the very beginning of your title, right? Doing this is one of the most powerful things you can do for YouTube and for Google, because it helps them discover your video first, right? They've got a million different videos to skim through in regards to the keyword aperture. And you want to make sure that when your video pops up for them to research and scan, that it sees that first keyword first and it doesn't overlook it because it's at the very end of your video title. Okay, so always be putting your keywords at the very beginning instead of the end. Therefore, it'll help out YouTube and Google to scan, to index, and to put and rank your videos first. Okay, moving forward, the description. Okay, the description is another one people always fumble on, and I teach this heavily in regards to SEO, video SEO, in some of my courses. But ultimately, this, again, keyword that you're talking about in your video should be one of the first, the first or second sentence, ultimately, of your video. And the typical formula that we like to give is always put an offer in the very first sentence. So you see in this video here, I'm offering to learn more at our website. And then the second sentence is basically blatantly saying, this is what this video is about. It's about aperture. It's about learning how to use aperture inside your videos or inside your camera. Okay, again, not doing this is only shooting yourself in the foot. If I put this at the very end of this whole description, then I'd be losing myself in the YouTube platform, right? So always put your keyword at the first or second sentence. And secondly, treat this like a blog article, okay? This is basically your time to shine. It's your time to say, hey guys, guess what? I know a bunch of stuff about this. Not only did I make a video, but I also created a little bit of an article at the very bottom of my video for you to go even more in depth. so that A, I have an offer, and B, I'm giving you extra content, some that might not even have been covered in this video. And it really engages people to stay on your video and also understand what it is that this video is about before actually playing it. But third, it actually helps, again, Google rank and index your videos to that very first page. Okay, so the third tip I have here, third tip is to link to relevant content that's inside your video and your website as well. So if I'm talking about aperture on a camera and I discuss Canon, and maybe the Canon 50mm lens is the best lens to use for a specific camera, I would actually want to put that link inside of my YouTube description. And now the reason goes far beyond the scope of this entire slideshow. But what I can tell you is that it's going to help you tremendously in backlinking and kind of helping Google index your video into the Canon website, into the Nikon website, into a bunch of other different links that you place on your video. So I just want to break it down and tell you that putting links in this description box is one of the most powerful things you can do, because it helps Google skim through the internet and jump from one website to the next, or from your video to a relevant website. And you know what? They thank you for that. And they thank you by putting you first and second and third on their ranking pages. Okay. So always be doing this. Always treat your blog, or treat your description like a blog article. And I would advise to maybe write 2 paragraphs at most. And then link to relevant content inside of that article. If you start thinking of it as an article, it makes it really, really easy to do that. And I can guarantee you, you will see epic jumps and epic leaps inside of your Google indexing, inside of your YouTube video indexing, so that you can begin to show up first on the search engines. Okay, hopefully I haven't lost you yet. I know that's a lot to take in. And again, guys, if you have any questions, we'll get those at the very end. All right, moving forward. The tags. Now, there is an absolute misconception here with tags, and it's something I want to go ahead and clear up right now. Tagging every single thing that you think of is not a good thing to do, because A, it's confusing to the viewer that's trying to watch it ultimately. It's like, what is this video really all about? And B, it confuses YouTube. In fact, YouTube actually rewards videos that have less tags that are more focused, highly focused, hyper-focused to a specific thing. Okay, so for this particular video, the example is aperture, because it's what we talk about. And then we talk about depth of field, DOF, DSLR cameras. These are all very relevant, very niche-induced tags. And I'm not going to sit here and tag everything about the DSLR video production industry. I'm just going to tag what I need to in order to help YouTube and Google rank this video properly. Okay. Now, let me just say, I have to forewarn you, and it's something I've been doing for a long time now, and I've been doing it wrong forever. I just learned this recently. Putting a lot of tags in there is not going to work for you. It's actually going to work against you. YouTube will punish you for that, because they start to get the sense that you're actually trying to cheat the system. So they start ranking you lower, because they think that you're just feeding a bunch of different tags in there for no reason. Okay. The lesser the tags, the more focused and hyper the tags are, hyper-focused, the better your search results will be, and the more higher up they will rank you, because of the fact that you're more hyper-focused. You're not all over the place, right? I think that works in real life too. So keep that in mind. Just know that these tags are very important. They're very crucial, but they're also best when they're minimized. Okay. Oh, and as far as the sweet spot, yes, 3 to 5 is the absolute sweet spot. Anything more than 5, and you start raising flags in the algorithm of YouTube. So you want to stick away from that. Okay. And lastly, real quick, this is kind of a no-brainer, but thumbnails. And this is something that YouTube actually trains a lot on. They tell people all the time, thumbnails are key. And think about your own personal experience when you're searching for something on the internet, especially when it's a YouTube video or even a photo. You base like 60% of your judgment of that video or whatever it is you're searching for on the thumbnail itself, right? Are you going to click on that thing that has nothing to do with what the title says? Probably not. But if you click on, are you going to click on a video that looks more relevant to what it is that you're offering? Absolutely you are. So you want to optimize your videos by choosing the best thumbnail that either A, YouTube creates when you upload your video, or B, you can actually custom create your own thumbnail and upload it to the platform. Now, we're not going to get into exactly how to do that. I mean, here's the screenshot for it you see here. But ultimately, there is the option to have that happen on YouTube if they don't populate one that actually makes sense to your video. For this particular one, it does make sense. An eyeball and aperture, it kind of works the same way. There's a metaphor in this video about it. So it makes sense to put that for this one. But if it were something else, maybe not. So I would choose one of these three, or I could upload my own. And that's how it works. What this will do for you, if you can optimize your thumbnails, is it will significantly increase the click-through performance rate of your video. It'll help people discover it better. It'll suggest people to want to click on it. And then from there, you have their attention for 5 to 7 seconds. Make sure that you captivate them and then go from there. Now, the captivation part is not covered in this yet, but we'll get into that some other time. Anyway, thumbnails, they're important. Optimize them. And finally, video syndication. Okay, now this is something that a lot of people don't actually do, and it's something that I've fumbled on for years. I didn't think this was important, but spreading the word about your videos is absolutely important. And now I'm not talking about posting it and like spamming it on your Facebook or Twitter or YouTube channel in general. I'm talking about being strategic about it and having a list of different syndication platforms that you can actually post to get the word out there beyond your own social network. It isn't about your social network. If you're in business, you're not trying to sell to your friends and family. They already know what you do. They probably already bought from you. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get out to those people that don't know about you. You're trying to get them to discover you through these online platforms. And the best way to do that is through syndication. So let me show you, first of all, how to do it on the YouTube platform. And then I'm going to show you a list, my personal favorite list of syndication platforms that I use all the time. All right. So if you look here on the screenshot, I have a YouTube video that I've gone down to the bottom piece where the comments are about to start. And if you click on the share button, this little feed of different social media networks will pop up. And from there, I would advise to go ahead and start sharing them with almost every single one of these guys. Okay, so Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Blogger, whatever. But not all of them are going to be very particular to the particular video that you're trying to share. So you want to be very careful with where you're sharing it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example with mine. This video is about DSLR, aperture, how to use it properly, and how to synchronize video. So what I want to do in my crowd, in my audience, I would probably share this on Twitter. I would probably share it on Reddit because I'm part of a couple of groups on there. And then I would probably share it on LinkedIn because my network loves the videos that I create. And then I would actually go into a couple more of these, which instead of just showing you here, I'm going to break them down for you. Okay. Not all of them, though. Notice how I skipped Facebook. I skipped Tumblr and Pinterest, blah, blah, blah. All right. And here's why. Syndication platforms are kind of iffy. They're hit or miss, and it all depends on your industry, right? So if you're making, if you are a furniture maker, if you make couches for a living, I wouldn't necessarily want to post that on your Facebook when you're just all of your friends are farmers, or maybe they're on some other industry that don't give a crap about what you're doing, right? So here's my list of syndication platforms that are pretty much very relevant all around. They're absolutely well-rounded, and if you post them here, it can only gain traction for you. It won't work against you. Okay, so the first one is dig.com/submit. You can create a free account on Dig, and Dig is basically like Reddit. If you don't know what Reddit is, it's basically a place where you can go, people go and they dig through articles and content and information and videos. And if they like something, they'll like it, they'll one up it, they'll plus it. And from there, there is like a main page that if you get enough likes, you can pop up first on. And from there, it just completely goes like, I don't know, it basically explodes on the internet. That's how things go viral, right? But they don't go viral just because one person said, hey, that's awesome, and then posted it. It's because you have to be strategic and you have to put them on syndication platforms that people will be watching. And Dig is one of those places. So absolutely be using Dig every time you post a new video. I would highly advise to go to this page, dig.com/submit, and I would post my video on there, okay? Secondly, I would advise StumbleUpon.com. StumbleUpon's great. It's the same thing. It's another aggregator that allows you to post something and everyone can discover it from there. So StumbleUpon.com, make a free account, and every time you make your videos, post them on there. And I'm going to go step back one slide real quick and just show you guys that if you look here at the bottom right in the screenshot, that's actually the StumbleUpon icon. And this is the Dig icon. right? So you can be posting on both of those right off of the YouTube platform, which is great. Okay, going back, Reddit is another one of these communities and syndication platforms that you can use. Now, you got to be careful when it comes to posting on specific communities. Like I said before, you don't want to be spamming people. You just want to give them good content and relevant content. Reddit can be tricky because they have specific communities, or they call them subreddit groups that that pertain to certain industries, that certain interests or hobbies, and you don't want to be posting about your furniture company in the subreddit group about video production, okay? Because that's just, you'll be banned immediately. You'll be shadow banned. You'll have to make a new account. It's no fun. I've been there. It sucks. So don't be that guy. Don't ban yourself. All right. Don't get yourself banned. Reddit.com is great. Find your subreddit group. Start interacting with people on there, and then, you know, every now and again, post your videos through there. I would suggest for Reddit to post every other video you create, and then always be active on there, or they will see you as a complete, you know, scam artist, advertiser, you know, just annoyance. So be careful with Reddit. List.ly is very interesting. It's a new platform that allows for you to submit certain things to certain lists. So I don't know about you guys, but you've probably discovered that the internet is full of these listicles or list articles where it's like the top 7 ways to lose weight, or the top 7 best video cameras, or, you know, the top 3 pickles in all of America. Like, I don't know, just random stuff. Well, the thing about that is, psychologically speaking, that stuff really works. We like lists. We like reading lists. We like to sift through them and see if we're doing it right, or if we can learn a thing or two just by seeing bullet point 2 and bullet point 4. List.ly allows us, it's user generated. You can search for any sort of, I don't know, industry or whatever, and you can instantly participate and also include whatever you want into those lists. So let's say I go to list.ly and I find a list, or I search for a keyword like aperture or Canon or video cameras, and I find all these lists that were completely created by users. And maybe I find one that says top video cameras, and I click on that, and it'll open up an actual list of video cameras that people have actually submitted. All right. What's great about this platform, list.ly, is that I can add my video from YouTube onto that list. So when people discover that list, they'll see my video on the list as well, and they'll click on it and they'll watch it. Given that it's a good video, mind you, you have to make good content for this to work. Okay, that's the first thing you got to do. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. Again, we go back to the whole being a spammer, and don't be that guy. All right, so list.ly is great. Post in relevant stuff. Make sure to look for the right list to post your videos in. Pingler.com is a new one I found a few months ago, and this is just like a website. It's free. You sign up if you want, and you basically you can put whatever website you want into their platform and then hit go. And what it'll do is it'll ping your video onto multiple various platforms throughout the internet, multiple websites. It'll just go to every single website they have in their directory, depending on your industry. And it'll just like say, hey, so-and-so posted this. Hey, so-and-so posted this, blah, blah, blah. It'll do it for like hundreds of different websites. It's free, so why not do it? I mean, rather than having to post on every person's page or news feed on your Facebook or your Twitter, why not just go to Pingler and let them do it for you? You're not going to be posting on Facebook or Twitter. It posts to different relevant articles and communities throughout the internet. So basically, Pingler.com does all the work for you. It's really great. And boingboing.net is the same way. So both of these websites they're complete free syndication platforms that I would highly advise, after you've posted your video on YouTube, to go there and to just post the link and just, you know, fill out the quick form. It's like a 4 or 5 question form about what it is, who you are, and then, you know, post it. And then boom, it'll send it out to multiple various websites just on the fly. Something that it would take you hours to do. It'll do it in like 5 minutes and for free. So absolutely 100% hands down one of my best tricks and best tactics. I've seen a lot of growth through this. And if you're using Google Analytics, you can track that. I'm not going to teach that here, but ultimately I will tell you that this does work. So definitely use it. Okay, so that's video syndication. I hope I haven't lost you yet because it can get pretty intricate, but it's very, very handy. So, so make sure to take advantage of it. All right, bonus pro tip here. I love this. It's something that a lot of people don't know about, and if you already do know about it, then great. But just I want to share it anyway. YouTube does allow monetization. And what I mean by that is it's an opt-in ad program that they offer every single user on YouTube, given that you have a good account, a good standing account, you haven't been spamming or, plaguing the YouTube platform. Okay. So even new users, as long as you have 1 or 2 videos on there, you can actually opt in directly into the ad program. And what this is basically, if you've been watching YouTube in the last, I don't know, 4 years or 3 years, you've seen that there's now ads in the beginning of certain videos. And what that comes down to is that person that posted that video, like this person right here, for instance, they've actually opted into the monetization platform on YouTube. And what that does is it puts a commercial in front of your video. This is called a true view ad, and it's basically that little 30-second commercial that pops up before the video begins to play, and you have that option in the very corner to skip it in 4 seconds. So YouTube allows advertisers to play up to 5 seconds of their ads. It's really great. It works on both fronts. It works great for the advertisers, and it works great for you, because if you opt into this program, you make, I'm not going to say you get rich, but you do make certain cents to the dollar for every single ad that's played and clicked on. And even if you have a lot of traffic, like let's imagine that you created a video that just went completely viral, that people were just watching like crazy, had 198,000 views. And imagine every one of those views had this ad play on it, play right before it. Well, you're making money for that. Because at a certain point, when you get to, I think 1,000 or so views, they start paying you more and more and more. And so you start making revenue on that particular video. I've personally, I set my opt-in ad program about 3 years ago. And in the last 3 years, I've made well over $500 through YouTube just for making videos, and I'm selling my own stuff. I'm basically teaching people what I do. I'm teaching them how to do it, and I'm making money on the front end, because it's like I'm offering my videos with advertisement in the front and in the middle of it. It's really great. And people are so already used to it at this point that it's not really an annoyance. It just is what it is. It's a part of the YouTube platform. And if you're not using this, what the hell's wrong with you? Turn it on. All right, so it's a free service. You need to opt into it. How do I do it? It's probably your next question if you haven't done it yet. Well, here's the quick 4-step process that I can show you. I'm not going to shot it, or I've just screenshotted it for you. I'll make a video later on, but here's how you do it. Log into your YouTube account, go up to the top right where your logo is, your icon, and click on it. In this instance, it's my face. And then I go to Creator Studio here. Creator Studio opens up this page right here. Click on Channel and click on Monetization, and then boom, this page will pop up. On yours, if you don't have it on yet, it might say opt in right now, and you'll click, to turn it on. Or in this case, I can hit start monetizing my videos, and it'll do the same thing. But ultimately, that's how you do it. It's that simple. It'll ask you a couple of questions. You'll have to put in some bank information so they can deposit your money. It's about a 5-step, 5-minute process. But once it's all set up, that's all you have to do. And from there, YouTube starts paying you every time that you get an ad on your video, and you get a lot of traction and people click on it. It's really great. So that is the YouTube monetization. That's the bonus pro tip I wanted to give you guys today. And let's see, is there anything else here? Nope, there's not. But I do have one last thing for you in regards to what we talked about today. So ultimately, this is a special gift I want to give you guys for watching. This is the Video Creators Checklist. And what it is a 4-step quick checklist swipe file that you can save on your desktop or wherever. So whenever you're making your videos, you can just refer to this really quickly, 4 steps, check, 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 check. Make sure you've done all 4 of them. And it's completely listed with the websites we talked about today. And it's also got a lot of just quick tidbits you need to be paying attention to before you upload your video. So to get this free special gift for you guys, just go to www.contentcreatorslounge.com/YouTube-creators-checklist. I know that's a long, URL, so I'm going to type it into the chat here for the people that are watching, and you guys can just click on it and get it from there. All right. And by the way, everybody that's watching, for those of you who are not a part of our platform at the Content Creators Lounge, go check us out. We're basically we're a platform that allows you to learn about the latest and greatest in how to create videos, and then how to market them properly so that you can build your business and make videos that people actually give a shit about. That's the whole point of the business, Content Creators Lounge. Make sure to go check it out. And again, here is the link. You should be able to get it inside of the group chat. If you're watching this video on a replay, check out the description below. You'll see it right there, and you can just download it from there. All right, guys, my name's John Acosta. Follow me on Twitter at the John Acosta. And for any questions you might have, feel free to shoot me an email at john@contentcreatorslounge.com. Thanks so much. Happy Halloween, because that's what it is today. And for anyone else that's out in the world, have a great weekend. Thanks so much.